I was just thinking about how the Bible teaches us not to hold in our feelings, and that's a very worldly thing. And I was thinking about all the examples in the Bible of people that don't hold in their feelings and that let them out. And I was thinking of all the things God's been teaching me about how he wants me to let out my feelings and like not hold them in, and that was something that the world taught. And then I was realizing that when we hold in our feelings, they literally can kill us. And then I was like, I have real life examples. I was in the military, and I literally died in the military. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, what led up? I was thinking about what led up to my death, and I was realizing it was everything I was holding in. I went to the military to escape and to prove to myself that I was strong enough, that I could do whatever, and that I would push myself, because everyone had told me how weak I was my whole life, and I didn't feel weak. I felt in my insides, I felt like I was fighting as hard as I could 24/7, and I felt like I was always failing. And I felt like that was the message everyone around me was telling me too, because of what I was being taught. And everything I was being taught was going against my insides. And so I felt the need to prove myself. So I held in my feelings. I kept them inside. And I'm like, okay, you guys don't think my feelings are valid, and you think I should be strong and keep going, and you think I can do it, then I'm going to believe you. And I'm going to hold them in. And I'm going to put my head down. And I'm going to power through, because you are all saying that I have that ability. You all have this faith in me, and you don't believe me when I'm telling you my weaknesses. You don't believe me when I tell you I'm weak, and so you push me to be strong. And so I believed you. I believed you that I was strong. So I went to the military to prove it to myself that your words were real. Because I didn't believe that I was strong. Because I knew the struggles. I knew my feelings. But everyone was denying it. So I went, and in the military, my body was so broken. I remember having to wrap my ankle every day, because how much pain it was in. I remember how much my back and shoulders and neck hurt. And I remember wanting to just fall over and die because of how much pain I was in. But that wasn't an option. No excuses, drill sergeant. You be strong. Hold it in and you keep going. Because that's what they say. That's what the world teaches. And so I did. I said, no, Catherine, you're a liar. You aren't weak. You are strong. That's what they say. So hold it in and keep going. Be strong. Be what they want you to be. They need you to be strong, Catherine. So this is what you have to do to prove it to yourself that you are strong, so that you know you're worthy. Because that's what... I remember the day I died. I remember my body shutting down, and I was like, ha! I knew it. I was right. I wasn't strong. I knew it. I was like, thank you. I can finally stop trying. I was right. But God had a different plan. He wanted to prove to me that in my weakness, He is strong. And so in the ambulance ride to the hospital, they revived me. For the next couple of weeks, I was unconscious. And the next couple weeks I was interrogated and grilled and then sent back out into field while I was having seizures. I remember them being so angry at me for trying to get out of it. So I tried again to be strong. I couldn't. They medically discharged me. I went to a man for a wedding to escape my father who wouldn't listen to me because he was afraid of his own pain inside of him, and he didn't know how to confront it, and he didn't know how to handle it. And so when he saw the same big pain inside of me, it scared him. So he told me to be strong the way that they had told him to be strong. My dad has the heart of David. He cried out to the Lord day and night, and God answered his prayers. But my dad let his fear win right now. So he needs prayers. Please pray that he sees God answer. That God is breaking the generational curses. That Jesus is the answer. He wasn't wrong. His faith was. Please pray for my dad. Please. He needs. Please. And so I ran to another man who was afraid of his feelings too. And that man taught me to hold them in too. I thought if I could get married, I saw how my dad supported my mom. I saw how loving and kind he was, how empathetic and compassionate, how he listened. And I thought, well, maybe if I get a husband, he'll have a heart like me. That's how it works. And my best friend at the time, I felt abandoned by her because she went for a man, and so I'm like, well, this is just like the natural progress. There's a bee in here, so I was trying to waft it. Oh, I think I just squished him in the window. I didn't. Oh, he got out. Okay. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand lust, and I didn't because my brain. I didn't have that, and so I didn't understand why people went to men. I didn't understand relationships. I didn't understand a bunch of stuff. So I just followed what I thought the pattern was. We get a man, we get a husband, found one, thought would work. Asked God. God said, you can try if you want. That's not the plan, but you can try. And I didn't understand. And so I thought that meant thumbs up, green light, let's go. And it did, because God wants us to try. Because he loves us and he knows that we're going to make mistakes. But he loves us and he's willing to let us so that we can learn. Because that's what love does. Love is patient. And that man taught me to hold in my feelings too. So I did with him. And I think I tried to commit suicide 3 or 4 times during our 10-year relationship. He came to the conclusion that it was his fault and that he was making me. And I didn't understand, because I didn't understand manipulation. And so I was like, I don't want to blame you because I love you. But I know that you're doing, I know how you're making me feel. But every time I try to tell you how you're making me feel, you start lying to me and gaslighting me and manipulating me. And I didn't understand that because I loved him. And so I just believed anything he said. Whatever he said, I just believed it. Because I loved him. And that's what love does. Love trusts. Love believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures all things. But he didn't actually love me. He loved himself. And so he couldn't hear me. He couldn't listen to me. And he could see that he was the problem. But because in his mind, his ego, and his pride, he couldn't admit that. And he literally told me in the end, I will not change. I'm not changing anymore. Not for you, not for anyone.